Well, hello, my most amazing NTI artists. So I didn't post a video yesterday because I wanted to make sure you weren't going to go too far ahead of our class since I see you twice a week. But now I can give you all the pieces of this project so you can finish it over the week you have before we meet again, if that makes sense. So last week we went step by step over practicing how to draw our shaking dogs. So the first step we did in class today was we redrew those dogs. Just in case you can't remember the steps, I'm gonna go through these with you. I'm drawing in Sharpie as we do this, but you can do this in pencil and then outline it in the Sharpie that's from your art bag. It's the solid black one, and mine looks a little different. So the first thing you wanna do is find the center of your paper and draw that diagonal line. If you draw it too small, your dog will be small. If you draw it too big, your dog will be big. We want a good kind of medium-sized dog. So there's paper that we're gonna cut away, and that'll give us more room to play when we get to the fun painting part. So once you have this, you have to make that decision. Do you want a triangle nose or do you want the one that kind of curls? My favorite is the one that curls. You decide which one you want. Then I'm going to bring a straight line down. This is going to be like the under the nose for the muzzle. And you're going to curve around up close to the nose. And sometimes I stop and come back here and do the same thing from the other side. But you do whatever you do. See, mine's a little different, and that's okay because the dog's supposed to be shaking and their face is going to get all twisted and silly. So once you have this, you can choose to add dots for where you'd put whiskers, or you can leave it blank. You can add that really long U for the chin, or you can add a tongue coming out, whatever you feel like. So now this is when you decide, do you want a shaggy dog with long crazy hair, or do you want like a smooth dog? So if you want the shaggy dog, just make your line have some texture, and you're gonna bring it up and around the muzzle. And if you want a smooth dog, just keep it straight. Now you add your lines. His eyes are closed, or her eyes, or whatever dog you have, because they're so happy that they're shaking and they're wet and they're making a big mess. Now we need to add our ears. Remember, our ears need to show that movement. So one ear is gonna flop over and one ear is gonna hang down. So since I had a shaggy dog, I'm gonna kind of make a shaggy ear. So that ear's coming over to make it look like it's movement. And this is coming down. There. So we have one more thing to do. We need to add the shoulders for our body. We don't have to make the whole body of the dog because we're gonna cut this out anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and add kind of a zigzag line coming down. My dog is kind of big, and I didn't go to the end of my paper, and that's okay because I know I can cut it off right there. So this is where if you want to add like a bow in the ears, you could do that. If you wanted to add a collar, you could do that. Then you're done. Once you're all done drawing your dog and you're super happy with this, and you're gonna use that paper I sent home, or you wanna use heavier paper than printer paper if you have drawing paper. My size is a 9x12. It could be smaller. You'll want a black piece of paper, 9x12. It could be bigger, but you want to draw on a similar size as whatever black paper you're gonna have. I know if you picked up supplies from school, you'll have it. If you're doing this from home, just whatever size you want it to be. If you want it to be really big, get the big paper. If you want it to be a little smaller, that's fine too. So once you've drawn it, you're happy with it, get your Sharpie out and outline all your pencil lines. I know you're experts at this because we do this a lot in the art room. So after you outline it, if you have any pencil marks, that's when you get your eraser and erase all those pencil marks. So now comes the fun part. You're gonna color your dog. We want our dogs to be realistic colors. So whites, grays, browns, blacks. You can use whatever colors you like, but please use crayon. Marker is water soluble, and when we add the paint, it would make the marker run. So crayon works really good on this project. I love crayon because you can mix and layer and make the crayon darker or lighter. So this is what I did yesterday in class. So I colored really light with some brown, and I added a little black, and then I colored darker with black and brown, and I kind of mixed it together to make it more interesting. If you want to do more of a Dalmatian dog, you can keep it white and put your spots on it. If you want to do your dog, you can look at your dog's markings and see how they do it too. If you don't have a dog, you can just make up one and color any way you want. All brown, all black, up to you. If you put a collar on, don't forget to have a fun color. So once you get to this step, you're gonna carefully cut out your dog. Once you've cut out your dog, you're gonna get your black piece of paper and you'll glue your dog to the black piece of paper. You'll cut it out and you'll glue it. And I'll be back to show you that in a second. Okay, once you have your dog cut out, just cut the bottom as straight as you can. Try to cut as close as you can. Remember, you turn the paper, not your scissors, so no chicken arms, right? So once you have your dog all cut out, we want to put our dog all the way to the bottom, like he's peeking up in that paper, and kind of in the center. You don't want to leave him twisted like this. Now, since you're at home, you can use white glue, liquid glue, or you can use a glue stick, whatever you have. My preference is like Elmer's liquid white glue because I feel like that will hold better, but whatever you have at home is perfect to use. So go ahead and glue this down. Okay, once you have your dog glued down, you gave him a massage on the front, flipped your paper over and massaged the back to make sure he's really down, you're ready to add the fun paint. Now, if you used Elmer's glue or liquid glue and you can see glue coming around, you might want to let that dry before you start painting. I used a glue stick and it didn't stick as much as I like, but I can fix that later. So if you are getting paints yourself, I mixed up 3 different types of blues for the class. I put regular blue with white in this one. I put turquoise with white in this one, and then I mixed all 3 together with white for this one. You want to have it kind of watery so it can move. So if you only want to make one color, that's fine, but whatever blue you choose, make sure it has some white in it so it really stands out on this black paper. If you can do more than one shade of blue, that makes it look really cool, but again, it's your picture and whatever you have at home. If you're able to pick up the paint from here, I gave you plenty of paint to play around and mix. But go ahead and add a little bit of water. As you can see, it's kind of watery. We want that so when we splatter, it goes. All right, so in class, I gave everybody a little piece of paper and we put these dots on there. What you're gonna do is use one finger. Do you need to use all 5? No, just one. Hopefully you're wearing an art shirt. Make sure you're at a table where you can get it messy or it cleans up really easy. This is tempera paint or whatever you're using at home. Make sure it can clean up easy and you have like a rag nearby. So it's up to you. The first thing we're gonna do is use our fingers because Iris Scott was the finger painting artist. So she painted a lot with her fingers. And we wanna show movement. And our dog is kind of shaking his head. And we're gonna show that by kind of adding a swirl around here. I know you can't see my whole paper, so I'll try to move it. So I'm gonna start by dotting some paint going around in like a spiral motion, kind of going around. You can add as much or as little as you want. So just have fun with it. And it's okay if these paints mix and they're a little drippy, that's okay. Oops, I got some on my dog, but that's okay because your dog's gonna be wet anyway. So you don't need to wipe your finger between the colors. You can just start dabbing and see I'm kind of moving in that spiral direction. I like the different values with the white in it because it shows up better. Maybe you can, I like the way the drips look. So if you want to make it a little drippy, you can. Okay, so once you get it the way you like, you can make as much mess or as little mess as you want. Go ahead and if you have a thick paintbrush at home, use that or use that green paintbrush I put in your art kit. Keep your paintbrush dry. And this is where you really kind of want this paint to be watery. So if it wasn't watery when you finger painted, add just a little bit of water to it and mix it together. Because we want to be able to dip our paintbrush. So I'm dipping it in all 3 because why not, right? You're gonna hold your paintbrush flat like this and you're just gonna tap it. And when you tap it, if it's enough water, it's gonna splatter. See how it's giving you that little splatter? I still want you to move that paintbrush in that round spiral motion, all right? If you wanna go back and add some white too, that's your choice. You can have a lot of fun with this. You can add as many splatters or as little splatters as you like. Mrs. Cole might need to water her paintbrush down a little bit. If it's not really splattering like you want, you can always kind of flick it a little bit with your finger too. See, the flicking is fun too. I'm just trying not to make a mess on my desk. So if it's not splattering or coming off that paintbrush like you want, you can always flick it with your paintbrush. And hopefully all you're getting dirty is your finger and this paintbrush. When you're all done, clean up your area, take a picture of your shaking dog for me, and then upload it to this assignment. Good luck. If you have any questions, I'm happy to Google Meet with you and do this with you, or email any answers whenever you need it. All right, goodbye, my most amazing artist. Have fun with your project.